Good morning, students. Hope you are enjoying a good family time and also doing your studies properly. In the last lesson, we have done the first part of the lesson, the Happy Prince, and we have seen how that prince has helped a poor lady whose son was very ill by giving him his ruby. So let us see the next part of the story. It is page number 30, last paragraph. When day broke, he flew down to the river and had a bath. Tonight I go to Egypt, said the swallow, and he was in high spirits at the prospect. He visited all the monuments and sat a long time on the top of the church step. Now the next day, the swallow took bath at the river, and he was very excited as he wanted to go to Egypt, and he was roaming here and there. He visited all the monuments. He sat there for a long time on the church tower, and finally when the night came and the moon rose, he flew back to the Happy Prince. Have you any commissions for Egypt? He cried, I am just started. Now he was very excited and he asked the prince, if you have any commission, if you have any messages for Egypt, I am going there, you can please tell me. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, will you stay with me one night longer? Now the swallow, the bird, he wanted to go to the Egypt, but that prince wanted him to stay with him for some more time, so he requested him that you should stay with me for one more night. I am waited for in Egypt, answered the swallow. He said, my friends are waiting there, I want to go there. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, far away across the city, I see a young man in a garret. He is leaning over a desk covered with papers, and in the glass by his side there is a bunch of withered violets. His hair is brown and crisp, and his lips are red as a pomegranate. And he has large and dreamy eyes. He is trying to finish a play for the director of the theatre, but he is too cold to write any more. There is no fire in the garret, and the hunger has made him faint. Now we have seen that prince, he was very kind-hearted and he cannot see anybody in trouble. So he wanted to help a young man who is living in a small dark room, and he saw that poor person, he was leaning over a desk with the papers scattered here and there, and his hair are brown and crisp, his lips are red, and he has large and dreamy eyes, and he is trying to finish the play for the director of the theatre, but because of cold, because of hunger, he is not able to write anything. There is no fire in the garret, and hunger has made him faint, and he was feeling very cold, but he is not having any money to buy food or to buy wood for the fire. I will wait with you one night longer, said the swallow, who really had a good heart. He asked if he should take another ruby to the young playwright. Now the swallow, he was also very kind-hearted person, kind-hearted bird. He is having a very good heart, and he said that okay, I'll wait for tonight also, and should I take another ruby for that young playwright, because earlier also the Happy Prince has given him a ruby to help that poor lady, so he thought he would give another ruby to him. Alas, I have no ruby now, said the prince. My eyes are all that I have left. They are made of rare sapphires, which were brought out of India 1,000 years ago. He ordered the swallow to pluck out one of them and take it to the playwright. He will sell it to the jeweler and buy firewood and finish his play, he said. Now the prince said, sorry, I am not having any other ruby, but my eyes are all that I have left, because his eyes were made up of rare sapphires, very precious stones, and he said these were brought from India 1,000 years ago. So he ordered the swallow, the bird, to pluck out one of those sapphires and give it to the playwright so that he can sell it and buy firewood for him and finish his play. "Dear prince," said the swallow, "I cannot do that," said, and he began to weep. Now that kind-hearted bird, he started weeping. He said, "No, I cannot do that, because if I would take out your eye, you will be blind." "Swallow, swallow, little swallow," said the prince, "do as I command." Now he ordered him that you should do whatever you have been told. So the swallow plucked out the prince's eye and flew away to the young man's garret. It was easy enough to get in, as there was a hole in the roof. Through this he darted and came into the room. The young man had his head buried in his hands, so he did not hear the flutter of the bird's wings, and when he looked up, he found the beautiful sapphire lying on the withered bottoms. Now the swallow, he had to follow the orders, so he plucked out that prince's eye, that sapphire from the prince's eye, and flew to the young man's garret, and it was easy to get into it because there was a hole in the roof, and through that hole he entered the room, and the young man, he was sitting there with his head buried in his hand, so he could not hear the flutter of the wings. That bird, he put that beautiful sapphire on the table among the withered violets, among the withered flowers, and flew up. "I am beginning to be appreciated," he cried. "This is from some great admirer. Now I can finish my play." And he looked quite happy. So when that person, that boy, he saw that, you can say, precious stone, he was very happy, and he thought that people begin to appreciate me, and this is from my great admirer, a person who praises me, who values my work. Now I can finish my work, I can finish my play, I'll sell this sapphire, and I'll get some food, and I'll get some fire to keep myself warm. The next day the swallow flew down to the harbour. He sat on the mast of a large vessel and watched the sailors working. "I am going to Egypt," cried the swallow, but nobody minded, and when the moon rose, he flew back to the happy prince. Now the next day, the bird, he was very excited. He flew here and there. He went to a harbour and he sat on the mast of a big ship, and he cried there, "I am going to Egypt, I am going to Egypt." But nobody bothered, nobody paid any attention towards him. And when the moon rose, when the night came, he flew back to the happy prince to say goodbye to him. "I have come to bid you goodbye," he cried. "Swallow, swallow, little swallow," said the prince, "will you not stay with me one night longer?" Now the prince again requested him to stay with him for one more night, because he wanted to help somebody else. "It is winter," answered the swallow, "and the snow will soon be here in Egypt. The sun is warm on the green palm trees, and the crocodiles lie in mud and look lazily about them." Now the bird said, "It is very cold here, it is winter here, and soon the snow will also begin to fall here, and in Egypt the sun is warm, there is warmth, there are green palm trees, and the crocodiles, they are just basking in the sun, so I want to go there because all my friends are also there, please let me." "In the square below," said the happy prince, "there stands a little match girl. She has let her matches fall in the gutter, and they are all spoiled. Her father will beat her if she does not bring home some money, and she is crying. She has no shoes or stockings, and her little head is bare. Pluck out my other eye and give it to her. Her father will not beat her." Now he wanted to help somebody else, so he told him another story, that in the square below there stands a little match girl, and all her matches, they have fallen down in the gutter, and they all are spoiled. Now her father will be very angry. He will beat her, and if she could not bring any money to home, so please help him. She is not having any shoes, she is not having any stockings, and she is not having anything to cover her head also. So he requested him to pluck out his another eye and give it to her so that her father will not beat her. Now he wanted to help that little match girl. I will stay with you one night longer, said the swallow, but I cannot pluck out your eye. You will be quite blind then. Now that bird, he was very sad. He said, okay, I'll stay with you for one more night, but I cannot do this. I cannot pluck out your eyes. Then you will be blind. You will not be able to see anything. I cannot do this. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, do as I command you. Again he ordered him, do as I am telling you. Please take it out and give it to the little match girl, because he was very kind-hearted. He could not see anybody suffering. So he plucked out the prince's other eye and darted down with it. He swooped past the match girl and slipped the jewel into the palm of her hand. Now the poor bird, he has to carry out the orders. So he plucked out prince's eye, he went to that little match girl and dropped that precious stone into her hand. What a lovely bit of glass, cried the little girl, and she ran home laughing. Now that girl, she was very happy. She doesn't know that it is a precious stone, but she was happy to see this lovely bit of glass, and she ran towards her home. She was very happy. She was laughing. Then the swallow came back to the prince. You are blind now, he said, so I will stay with you always. Now that bird, he was also very kind-hearted, and he said that now you are blind, now I cannot leave you, I will stay with you always. No, little swallow, said the poor prince, you must go away to Egypt. He said, no, you should go, your friends are waiting there. No, I will stay with you always, said the swallow, and he slept at the prince's feet. Now the little bird, he didn't agree. He said, no, I am not going to leave you, I will always stay with you. All the next day he sat on the prince's shoulder and told him stories of what he had seen in the strange land. Now this bird, it has flown to various lands, many strange lands. So throughout the day he keep him telling all the stories what he has seen, just to entertain him. Dear little swallow, said the prince, you tell me of marvelous things, but more marvelous than anything is the suffering of men and women, and there is no mystery so great as misery. Fly over my city, little swallow, and tell me what you see there. Now he said, dear little swallow, you told me many beautiful things, but the sufferings of men and women, they are more marvelous than any other things. So please fly over to my city and let me know the suffering of the people. Let me know if the people are suffering or if they are having good life. So the swallow flew over the great city and saw the rich making merry in their beautiful houses while the beggars were sitting at the gates. He flew into dark lanes and saw the white faces of starving children looking out listlessly at the black streets. Under the archway of bridge, two little boys were lying in each other's arms to try and keep themselves warm. How hungry we are, they said. You must not lie here, shouted the watchman, and they wandered out into the rain. Now the bird, it flew over the great city, and he saw that the rich people, they are living in the beautiful houses, they are making merry, they are enjoying like anything, they are eating and they are having parties, but the beggars, they were sitting at their gates just to wait for some food. Then he flew to the dark lanes and he saw white faces of starving children, hungry children. So they were roaming here and there, they were suffering from cold, they were suffering from hunger. And then he saw two little boys, they were just hugging each other just to keep themselves warm, and they were crying that they are very hungry. But the watchman, he didn't let him stay there, and he told them, you must not lie here, go away from here. And so the poor boys, they have to move out into the rain. So they were hungry, they were feeling cold, yet they have to go to the open. Then he flew back and told the prince what he had seen. "I am covered with fine gold," said the prince. "You must take it off leaf by leaf and give it to the poor. The living always think that gold can make them happy." Now the bird had told everything to the prince. He was very sad and he said that my whole body is covered with gold. You must take it off leaf by leaf and give it to the poor so that they can earn some money, they can be happy. Because he thinks that the living people, they always think that gold can make them. Leaf after leaf of the fine gold the swallow picked off till the happy prince looked quite dull and grey. Leaf after leaf of the fine gold he brought to the poor, and the children's faces grew rosier. They laughed and played in the street. "We have bread now," they cried. Now the little bird, it followed the orders. It took off the gold leaves from his body and gave it to the poor people, and those children, they were very happy. They were laughing and they were happy that they can eat some food. Then the snow came, and after the snow came the frost. The street looked as if they were made of silver. Everybody went about in furs, and the little boys wore scarlet caps and skated on the ice. Now, as it was very cold country and the snow started falling down and it became frost, and the streets, they were looking as if they were made up of silver, and everybody went about in furs. They wore thick fur clothes, and the little boys, they wore their scarlet red color caps and they skated on the sky. The poor little swallow grew colder and colder, but he would not leave the prince. He loved him too well. He picked up crumbs outside the baker's door when the baker was not looking and tried to keep himself warm by flapping his wings. Now we have seen that poor bird, he wanted to go to Egypt just to keep himself warm. But now it has grown very cold, but he loved Prince. He doesn't want to leave him. So he stayed there. He kept himself warm by flapping his wings, and as all the roads were covered with snow, there was nothing to eat. He just picked up crumbs of bread or biscuits, etc. from the baker's door when the baker is not looking at him. But at last, he knew that he was going to die. He had just enough strength to fly up to the prince's shoulder once more. "Goodbye, dear prince," he murmured. "Will you let me kiss your hand?" But that poor bird, he could not, you can say, stay in that cold, and he knew that he is not going to survive. Now he is going to die, and he has left with no strength. With great difficulty, he flew to a happy prince's shoulder, and he said, just to say goodbye to him, and he asked him if he could kiss his hands. "I am glad that you are going to Egypt at last, little swallow," said the prince. "You have stayed too long here, but you must kiss me on your lips, for I love you." Now the prince thought that he is going to Egypt, and he said that "I am happy at last you are going, and because you have stayed there for a long time, but I love you, so you must kiss my lips." "It is not to Egypt that I am going," said the swallow. "I am going to the house of death. The death is the brother of sleep, isn't he?" He said, "No, I am not going to Egypt. Now I am going to die. I am going to the house of death, and death is the brother of sleep. Death is just like sleep. I am going to lie in a deep sleep." And he kissed happy prince on the lips and fell down dead at the feet. He kissed his lips and he died. At that moment, a curious crack sounded inside the statue, as if something had broken. The fact is that the little heart had snapped right into two. It certainly was a dreadfully hard frost. And at that time, when that bird died, there was a great curious cracking sound inside the statue. It was the leaden heart that had broken into pieces. Early the next morning, the mayor was walking into the square below in the company with the town councillors. As they passed column, he looked up at the statue. Dear me, how shabby the Happy Prince looks, he said. Now the next morning, the mayor of the city, he was just roaming around with his town councillor, and he saw the shabby statue of that. That statue was very beautiful because it was covered with gold, it was covered with rubies, sapphire, etc. But now everything is gone, and he said that this statue is looking quite shabby. How shabby indeed, cried the town councillors, who always agreed with the mayor, and they went up to look at it. Now the town councillors, they were just buttering the mayor. They said, yes, it is very shabby. The ruby has fallen out of his soul. His eyes are gone. He is golden no longer, said the mayor. In fact, he is a little better than a beggar. Now the mayor, he doesn't know how he has lost the ruby or the sapphire or the gold. He said, now he is looking like a beggar. Little better than a beggar, said the town councillor. The town councillor also said, yes, he is looking like a beggar. And here is actually a dead bird at his feet, continued the mayor. We must really issue a proclamation that birds are not to be allowed to die here. And the town clerk made a note of the suggestion. Now they were unaware of these sufferings. They are unaware of all these happenings. And they are not concerned about the city. They are not concerned about the poor people. And he said that these dead birds, we should make an announcement. Proclamation means announcement. We should make an announcement that dead birds are not allowed to die here. And the town clerk, he made a note and just pasted. So they pulled down the statue of the Happy Prince as he is no longer beautiful and he is no longer useful, said the art professor at the university. So with the help of art professor, they pulled down that statue as they make a note that it is no longer beautiful, it is spoiling the beauty of the city, so it is no useful. Then they melted the statue in a furnace. What a strange thing, said the overseers of the workmen at the foundry. This broken lead heart will not melt in the furnace. We must throw it away. So they threw it on a dust heap where the dead swallow was lying. As the statue was made up of metal, so they melted the statue in furnace, but to their surprise, they saw that the leaden heart that has been broken into pieces, it could not be melted. So they threw it on a heap of dust where the dead swallow was lying. Bring me the two most precious things in the city, said God to one of his angels. And the angel brought him the leaden heart and the dead bird. You have rightly chosen, said the God. For in my garden of paradise, this little bird shall sing forevermore, and in my city of gold, Happy Prince shall praise. So when this Happy Prince statue was broken and the bird also died, and when the God said to one of his angels to bring two most precious things of the city, the angel brought that leaden heart and the dead bird. The God was also very happy. He said, in my garden of paradise, this little bird will always sing, and in my city of gold, the Happy Prince always shall praise me, will always stay here, because they both were very good. They were having compassion for others. They were having feelings for others. So we should help others also, and we should have compassion for poor people. Thank you.